Joshua Zirkzee is a player so many Arsenal fans have wanted for quite a few months now. Look, if you fit in this category, if you want Joshua Zirkzee at Arsenal, you might just be in luck. You know, there's some news that's coming out that is saying Arsenal are right at the very front of the queue to sign Joshua Zirkzee. But I need to warn you, there's a scary truth that not many people are willing to talk about. I haven't heard anybody talk about Joshua Zirkzee in this way yet. So we're going to be speaking about that. But there's also been some Declan Rice comments while he's been away with England about Arteta and Arsenal that I thought were fascinating. It really gave us an insight into Mikel Arteta's thinking when he brought this player in. We're going to be speaking on that as well. But before we get into it, just very quickly, do me the favour, please. If you enjoy these videos, just give me a like. It helps the channel massively. So look, the first place we're going to start is, of course, Joshua Zirkzee. So many people have been saying, if we get this guy, he will transform Arsenal's attack. If you want Joshua Zirkzee, let me know in the comment section. But let me know why you want him. Look, I'm going to be very straight up with you now. From what I've seen of Joshua Zirkzee, I don't think he's the right guy. Some of you guys might be thinking, what are you talking about? This is a fantastic player. But I'm going to go through something here. Like I said, that I haven't seen anyone talk about. I don't think this is an upgrade. Not only on our first team striker, but our backup striker. And even worse than that, I don't even think Joshua Zirkzee is at a higher level than our third choice striker in nketiah. Like I said, I know there's people behind the screen screaming at me now saying, what are you talking about? We're going to speak on it. Look, Joshua Zirkzee last season, 12 goals, 7 assists. If I'm looking for a striker for Arsenal, these are not the kind of stats that I'm looking at and thinking, right, this is the guy we need to lead Arsenal's attack. We need Joshua Zirkzee in the number 9 with his 12 goals and 7 assists. Before we get into it, I do want to say, if Mikel Arteta goes for this player, of course I will back him. Of course, I'm not the guy making the final decision, but I'm just here giving you my opinion on what I see. If I'm seeing things differently to you, of course, let me know in the comment section and we can have some discussion. But I'm looking at Joshua Zirkzee and I'm not seeing an upgrade. Like I said, 12 goals, 7 assists. Last season, 2 goals, 2 assists. This is a 6'3" striker. He does have qualities that I do think can be beneficial to Arsenal, but he doesn't possess anything that I'm looking at and thinking, wow, this guy is unreal. Like I said, 12 goals, 7 assists. If I'm not even going to compare him to Havertz and Gabriel Jesus. Let's compare him to the guy that none of us want at the football club, nketiah. nketiah, 6 goals, 3 assists. So he's got half the output. But guess what? He's also got less than half of the playing time. So if nketiah was to double his playing time, he would have a very similar stats to Joshua Zirkzee if you take them and exactly double them. Could be more, could be less, of course. But what I'm saying is I don't see a significant improvement even on nketiah. And people will say, well, of course, this is a developmental striker. This is a young striker. Again, I hear the argument, but I'm only seeing a 2 years age difference. nketiah 25, Joshua Zirkzee 23. So this isn't a 20-year-old striker or a 19-year-old striker that I'm looking at and seeing some real development potential in him. Like, of course, he will get better. He is still 23. I know we're used to now seeing these wonder kids break through at 17, 18, 19, 20. You still do have some development left at 23. And I'm not saying Joshua Zirkzee won't go on to be a good striker. But if I'm looking for what Arsenal need, don't forget, this isn't the Arsenal of 4 or 5 years ago. This isn't the Arsenal where you just want someone to come in and score 10, 15 goals. We need someone to come in and help make the difference against a Man City team that is the best Premier League team of all time. You're not just battling any old team. You're battling against Man City. You're battling against Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Arsenal will have hopes this season of winning the Premier League, of winning the Champions League. And I'm not looking at Joshua Zirkzee and thinking this guy can be the real difference maker. I'm just not seeing it. Like I said, if you see it differently, let me know. Also, there's been reports coming out that Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund are both interested in Guirassy, the striker from Stuttgart. Playing in the Bundesliga, had an absolutely phenomenal season last time around. 28 years old. And the thing that is interesting about this player is his release clause is rumoured to be about £20 million. So the outlay on the player is not very much. Now, if I'm looking at it just at saying, well, he scored 30 goals, he's 28 years old, so he's not the oldest in the world, and he's got a £20 million release clause, of course that sounds interesting, but there's other factors, again, on this player that don't excite me. for instance, like this is his highest ever goal scoring season. Before this, he's kind of struggled to reach 15 goals. I think he might have only reached it once or twice before this. So he's not a striker that's known for having these unbelievable seasons. Could this just be a one-off season? We have seen it in the past. I mentioned it in yesterday's video. We've seen strikers in the past where they do go on and have a really, really good season. And that's what I see with this Guirassy guy, because he's not really been producing these kind of numbers forever. That doesn't mean he won't keep producing these kind of numbers. But if I'm looking at risk to reward ratio, like I said, it is £20 million, so you're not really taking that much of a gamble. But again, if it doesn't work out, because of the age profile, you're probably going to sign him on a 4 or 5 year deal anyway. So by the time that deal comes to an end, there won't be much sell-on value anyway. So in terms of a project where you can bring him in, have a look, and then sell him, I don't really see him as one of them. That would be a huge risk, in my opinion, for Guirassy. I wouldn't go for Guirassy. Let me know if you guys would. I don't see him as the profile of player. There's not many players that I'm looking at. If I'm being real, in my opinion, and saying Arsenal need a striker better than Havertz has been great last season. Havertz played most of the season in number 8. He stepped up to that number 9 position, and he was scoring a lot of goals. I hope Havertz has a great Euros, because I think that will benefit him for Arsenal next season. We haven't really seen him score too many goals in the Euros so far. It's early stages. He has scored a goal. That's all that matters. But the German striker, Fulkrug, has come in and scored a couple of times as well. So there may even be rumours floating about that he might start the next game for Germany anyway. So we'll just have to see what happens with Havertz. But for me, honestly, Joshua Zirkzee would be a no, and the Guirassy would be a no. I would be keeping my options open and really going for that danger man striker, really going for a striker that can put fear in the heart of that Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona. There's not many of them about. And if there isn't, I wouldn't be rushed into a decision on taking a striker that I wouldn't really feel would benefit the squad. I don't think there's any point in that. I think you wait, or you maybe improve your wingers. Instead of buying that world-class striker, maybe you bring in another world-class winger to really complement the attack. Let me know your thoughts on it. Also, I wanted to speak about Declan Rice, because he made some comments in the England camp that I thought were very, very interesting. So many people didn't know what Mikel Arteta brought Declan Rice in for. You know, was he a 6? Was he an 8? And Declan Rice cleared that up in his England press conference very clearly. He said, we had some discussions, me and Arteta, and it was decided that I will come in and be the number 6 for Arsenal. So to the people out there wondering, what was he brought in for, a 6 or an 8? He was categorically brought in to be the number 6 for Arsenal. Now, that doesn't mean plans can't change. Of course, maybe Mikel Arteta saw him at a 6 and thought, I see qualities in you that can benefit us further up the pitch, so I'm going to play you in the 8. And maybe he will have that thinking. But he also said something about accommodating Jorginho, or allowing Jorginho to sit in deep, and then that allowed me to play that 8 role. So is Declan Rice only being played in the 8 because we don't have no better 8s, and then he knows that Declan Rice can play 8 and we still have Jorginho or Partey to play in 6? I don't really know how to read this. Does that mean that Mikel Arteta brought him in as a 6, so wants to keep him as a 6, and when the opportunity comes up, he will go out there and buy the 8 that he sees in his head? Like, he might have his eye on a number 8 out there that can really complement Declan Rice and allow Declan Rice to play that 6 role. We know we've got Partey. We don't know if he's going to be here next season. So if we sell Thomas Partey, will that now allow Mikel Arteta to focus on having Declan Rice in the 6? Jorginho will play some minutes as well. I think his game time will probably be more limited next season. I don't think he's going to have quite as many minutes as he did this season. Certainly, if we bring in another central midfielder. So from what I'm hearing, and from what I'm hearing from Declan Rice, he usually says he's enjoying playing the 8 role, but he always feels more confident further back. He prefers playing the 6. So if he prefers playing the 6, Mikel Arteta brought him in as a 6. I'm starting to think maybe Declan Rice will be the long-term 6, which I like. I know so many of us do enjoy Declan Rice in that number 8 position because he does have so many qualities, like I said, that do complement Arsenal going further forward. But I just thought that was interesting. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on Joshua Zirkzee. Would you sign him for Arsenal? Let me know your thoughts on Guirassy at £20 million. Do you think Arsenal can afford to turn this opportunity down? Or do you think for 20 million you just have to take the bargain? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. And like I said, before you go, just do me the favour, give me a thumbs up on this video. Just like it and subscribe. And I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.